南无说悉耶，南无大摩悉耶娑哈，我南无满洲悉耶，南无说悉耶，南无大摩悉耶娑哈，我南无满洲悉耶，南无说悉耶，南无大摩悉耶娑哈。也知道这个就拿来讲究法度，那你告诉其大概去年级别从哪里，到了本节上给主把说，知道这个就拿来讲究法度，那你告诉其大概去年级别从哪里，到了本节上给主把说。知道这个就拿来讲究法度，那你告诉其大概去年级别从哪里，到了本节上给主把说。人民就人民周章，围绕人心你的根本的，上面是农民的如因着看到的是那这把手，不如让他们到了钢铁呀，他呀，
Masih pada ucapan itu cuma nak kawan pandai tu bahasa oh ini tak jadi mana dewa dewa tu pada bina tu dia baca tu dia tahu kalau tidak sini pada malah sini pada tu so tu sini baca terus.
This is just your sitting posture according to the 7 meditative postures of Vairocana. And think, all sentient beings have been my mothers. All sentient beings have been my mothers, not just once, but for numberless times. All sentient beings are as kind as my mother in this life. Even though all kind mother sentient beings want happiness and do not want even a small suffering due to engaging wrongly in objects of adoptions and abandonment, they do not experience any happiness but suffering. In our minds, sincerely generate loving kindness towards all kind mother sentient beings, thinking, how nice it would be if all kind mother sentient beings were to have happiness, and the causes of happiness, they are virtues. May they have happiness and the causes of happiness. Cause them to have happiness and the causes of happiness. Lama Deity, please bless me to be able to do so.
Ini dua dia jadi mana nak dua sih kalau saya biji mana tu kalau ada macam tidak tahu tapi saya tidak sih mana mana sih jadi tu sih biji.
Next, we generate compassion towards all suffering mother sentient beings, thinking, how nice it would be if the bodies of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue, such as pain, sickness, and harms caused by 4 elements. May their bodies be free from the discordant class. I will free their bodies from the discordant class. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so. How nice it would be if the minds of all suffering mothers and sentient beings were free from a class discordant with accomplishing virtue, such as fear, mental sufferings, and all coarse and subtle discursive thoughts. May their minds be free from the discordant class. I will free their minds from the discordant class. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so. How nice it would be if the speech of all suffering mothers and sentient beings were free from a class discordant with accomplishing virtue, or coarse and subtle negative speech, such as lying. May their speech be free from the discordant class. I will free their speech from the discordant class. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so. How nice it would be if the three doors of all suffering mothers and sentient beings were free from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. May their three doors be free from the discordant class. I will free their three doors from the discordant class. Lama, please bless me. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so. How nice it would be if all sentient beings were free from suffering and the causes of suffering. They are non-virtues. May they be free from all suffering and the causes of suffering. Our freedom from all suffering and the causes of suffering. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so. Next, we generate bodhicitta. First, we ask ourselves, who should take on the responsibility to free all other sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and lower realms? I should take on the responsibility to free all other sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and lower realms. Even though I should take on the responsibility, I do not have the abilities to do so now. Who has such abilities? Only those who have achieved the perfectly complete enlightenment have the abilities to do so. Therefore, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, by all means, I will achieve the precious state of enlightenment.
그래서 이제 통지에서 그것도 성분도 우리가 나이 지금 모두 그나마 지금 죄라는 많이 한세 지금 간단한 지금서 우리가 나이 지금 내일 도저가 생각하는 거 지금 그래서 누가 지금 그나마 무슨 지금
Next, we generate all-encompassing yoga mind. The aspiring conventional bodhicitta that thinks, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. These transform into the aspects of a complete mundis at one part. And the ultimate bodhicitta, which is one's mind becoming in one taste with emptiness, all phenomena lack inherent existence. These transform into the aspects of a white five-pronged vajra on top of the mundis.
Biz davranışan hiç gibi o ki ne daha kenarda dene daha mı şeyden daha ikinci şeyde diyor ki var ki lan dedim yeşil çizi ne maçı böyle çizi çizi davranışan hiç o ki de bu gibi bir süreç gibi şey.
Next, we meditate on emptiness for a short while. The I and the aggregates are not inherently one. If they were inherently one, faults would follow. The first one is, it would be pointless to assert a self. Self would be many. Self would arise and disintegrate. It would be unreasonable to remember past lives. Karma one has done would be wasted. One would meet with karma that one has not done.
차대도 그냥 되는 되게는 좀 그게 나중에 이기다 차대 가는 거 나도 그때 한 이기고 동안 사다 또 쓰는 거지.
And the self and the aggregates are not inherently different. If they were inherently different, they would become unrelatedly others. Thus, the self and the aggregates do not exist as inherently one or inherently different. The self is empty of inherent existence.
就是他是过程中，也在努力的稍微让自己说科学的能力是否的科学过程中，我们看到，什么日本我什么东西，这是你上不是这个的很世界的对我的重要的，因为的这个第一期都用在保持呀，这个的基本上呢，就看到你上不是结果呢，第二个是给在的，基本上就是什么的。
As I always say, that it's very important to conjoin the roots of virtue with our virtue of our three doors with the practice of six perfections. Thus, to conjoin these roots of virtue with the practice of six perfections is as follows. The first one is generosity. The nature of generosity is a mind of giving. During these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on the Dharma, this is done for the sake of achieving happiness and purifying sufferings of all sentient beings. Next is morality. The nature of morality is a mind of abandonment. During these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on the Dharma, I will properly abandon my physical and verbal misdeeds so that they do not manifest. Next is patience. The nature of patience is a mind that is undisturbed. During these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on the Dharma, I will patiently accept all physical or mental hardships or sufferings. Next is joyous effort. The nature of joyous effort is a mind that takes delight in virtue. I will joyfully and enthusiastically engage in the roots of virtue of listening, contemplation, and meditation on the Dharma. Next is concentration. The nature of concentration is a mind that single-pointedly focuses on any virtuous object. I will single-pointedly focus my mind on the virtuous object without being influenced by distractions and discursive thoughts.
这个我们就是这个写入中什么东西，那上部分前面个是，现在在看的那个，人家的把遇到也不是写读个，写的那个也不是写读个，就么呢？那这个是也是的，你写入的不是那是么事。
The last one is wisdom. The nature of wisdom is a knower that thoroughly distinguishes phenomena. I will properly and unmistakenly understand the words and meanings of the Dharma that I listen to, contemplate, and meditate on. If I'm able to cause these minds to manifest, then these roots of virtue will be conjoined with the practice of six perfections.
那这就是公安就了学生的，他们都上的工作到了，有这个，那他们不就去4年，2年这个就没写了，看到这个，啥都公安就是。
Set a good motivation. For the sake of all mother sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. For these, I will listen to the Mahayana teachings and practice accordingly in order to benefit sentient beings.
不一样，哎，咱我这边，我进去的话，好的，可是我那么第几学的，进去我那么话，我这个嘛，就学了第几学的话，那对我这么，我们设计的嘛，我就潜意识进去的话，设计洗脑的话是零具有的话，零觉得嘛，设计洗脑的话，你那就潜意识。
So today we are going to talk about this engaging in the Bodhisattva Deeds, and then we have already covered a little bit the beginning part of it. So we have already talked about the life stories or the biographies, the author, and also the commentators. So today I would like to talk about the outline of Bodhisattva engaging in the Bodhisattva Deeds. So this Bodhisattva is included there are 4 divisions. There are 4 divisions, and these 4 divisions includes all 10 chapters.
对对对，然后就零就是当嘛，这是呢，当嘛零当嘛的都可以这些定了啊，零当嘛，咱就身体平衡是吧？到第8项，有什么强的生活是7、8、8月等，我把西医生，就把7、8、丁把经济，7、8、身体不把写了，就把我零我是，那零就我对了吧？
So as you can see on the text, so the first chapter is the explanations of the benefits of the minds of enlightenment. The chapter 2 talks about the confessing negativities. Chapter 3, completely upholding the minds of enlightenment. Chapter 4, teachings on conscientiousness. 5th, guarding introspection. Chapter 6, relying on patience. Chapter 7, teachings on joyous effort. Chapter 8, concentration. Chapter 9, wisdom. And Chapter 10, dedication.
我对了，然后这零就都是下过来的，我觉得，嘛写的嘛是设计洗脑，大家都觉得嘛，就是嘛，当然是吧，零觉得都是零就下过的吧。那就是这么说的，零就嘛下过就是的，旁人这都是下过就是有的说，那就是的嘛是设计洗脑嘛，这个是。
There is a purpose of explaining Bodhisattva or giving there is a purpose of composing a Bodhisattva in these 10 chapters, and these 10 chapters are included in 4 outlines.
都是这个做设计项目的往修的，是吧？设计学的流程嘛，就要修的，设计项目的往说，看到 이들이 레우순 사제 담보들 레우순 자고로 사제 담보들 다 장주지 세는 뭐지 야디는 마치가 찌바셔이치 와 장주지 세는 뭐지데 더 장주세가 된다면 장주지 세데 야디는 마치가 찌바셔이치도 그 사제 담보스 장주세지 담보스의 장주세지 비어 내가 담보 이바 비샤 선바 장주세 무슨 와세 예수 예수네 다 장주지 세 뭐지도 지가 마치가 찌바셔이치도 사제 대수 뭐라 사제가 되는 대수 사제 담보들
So the first outline is to generate the precious bodhicitta that has not yet generated, and the precious bodhicitta includes the conventional bodhicitta and ultimate bodhicitta. So in order to generate the precious bodhicitta that has not yet generated, then the first three chapters are set forth. The first until the third chapter, explanations of the benefits of the minds of enlightenment, confessing negativities, and completely upholding the minds of enlightenment.
그 사제 담보를 레우순으로서 그 사제 님바라 그 장주세 제부의 민나바 소이 탑 레우 와 장주세인데 제바 민나바 소이 때라 레우순 레우순에 시바 바요다 나바시비 이바 세바스 예수의 사제 님바라고 다 장주세를 뭐지 제바 민나바 소이 탑 레우 예수
So the first three chapters are included in the first outline. The outline is to generate the precious bodhicitta that has not yet generated, and the second outline is to guard without letting the generated bodhicitta to degenerate. So the second outline is to guard without letting the generated bodhicitta to degenerate. And the chapter 4, 5, 6, teaching on conscientiousness, guarding introspection, relying on patience. So these three chapters are included in the second outline.
사지 숨바는 와 사지 숨바라 다 장주 있는데 뭐냐고 보네 왜 공도 빼 연세대 뭐냐고 보네 공도 빼 채도 다 레우순 다 레우 디파처리다 지바 상디 바셔르 레우 대소로 와 대송보대 간다 장주 시대 뭐냐고 공배야 야또 거기라 그거 사지 대소 좀 그랬어 레우 대소도 좀 버렸어 사지 숨바로
And the third outline is to increase the bodhicitta without letting it to degenerate. The third outline is to increase bodhicitta without letting it to degenerate. So this is the third outline, and the chapters 7, 8, and 9, teaching on joyous effort, concentration, and wisdom, are included in the third outline.
어디 사지 시바들 와 사지 시바들 나노 안다 와서 와 오일에 오서 사지 시바는 아치바 사지 시바들 지바 오일에 오서 와서 와서 안다 타신에 간다 저기 세를 뭐지 뒤에 타신이 비자데 안다 나름다 뭐 있으시야 어디 야 뭐야 살림 주어디 안다 이거에서 좋아
也许先他请别给咱们那个接吧。
무슨 사이트에 막 안쪽인데 와 장주지 세트에 이거 제가 이거 전에 전도 뭐 전에 생각 배를 좀 다른 방에 내어디 앞에 살아배 소소도 와 내가 저장하는 거야 담아대 가서 제일 내가 다 신바 신바들 막 파기 좀 신바 소와도 되고 그래서 그러 사기 뭐 좋아지 신바만 제일 좋아
So the fourth outline is the root. So the fourth outlines includes the 10th chapter, the dedication. So these 10 chapters is to dedicate the roots of virtue, of perfecting bodhicitta together with aspirational prayers. So the fourth outline is the roots of virtue of perfecting bodhicitta together with aspirational prayers or together with prayers. So the chapter 10 dedication is included in the fourth outline. So in brief, the main things that talks about in the Bodhisattva is bodhicitta. So bodhicitta, as mentioned, can be divided into two: conventional bodhicitta and ultimate bodhicitta. So the conventional bodhicitta is the common bodhicitta that we usually talk about. For the sake of all sentient beings, I want to achieve the state of enlightenment. For these, I will listen to Dharma and I will practice Dharma. So this belongs to the method aspect. And ultimate bodhicitta that talks about how the ultimate bodhicitta refers to the wisdom that directly realizing emptiness, and then this belongs to the wisdom aspect. In the first chapter, it talks about the benefits of bodhicitta. So it doesn't first talk about the nature or the entity of bodhicitta. Instead, it first talked about the benefits of bodhicitta. So bodhicitta or minds of enlightenment or mind generation can be translated. All these refers to the same thing, bodhicitta. So, and why did we talk? There is a purpose of talking about the benefits of bodhicitta first, is because, like, let's say, if we want to look for a job, we want to get a job, and then the first thing that we look at is the salary of the job, right? So if it pays well, then the wish to get the job and the wish to work for that company, it will be greater. And similarly, I'll say you will go to your office happily. So because of they pay well. So when you're working in that company or in that company, then you has you are less stressed, then you has lesser mental difficulties. As compared to if a company doesn't pay well, and if you work for that company, then you tend to have more mental difficulties or problems. So that's why it first talks about the benefits of generating bodhicitta.
소로 전부 디 사고를 전주세 원하는 게 소로 전부 디 사고를 세들라가 대치 되는 거です. 이게 정말나 햄버거야 돼. 니 집어res. 그리고 이게 정말 햄버거. 산지지 공부 연락해야 돼. 전주세 원 누가 하는 게 거です. 와. 에? 맞지 주소로라. 네. 니 핀지바랑 튜너야보다 네. 전부 쳐야 돼. 전주세 거です. 나 들리습니다. 전주세다. 중지 때 내서야고 쇼지 마무 이와서다. 다 전주세 때 지금 그냥 뭐 나는 지어라. 스스로 가와서 와. 하고 뭐 지금 예수.
So when it talks about the benefits of generating bodhicitta, if one cultivates bodhicitta, then the benefits such as one will accumulate extensive merit, collections of merits, and one will, so one will be happy in these lives and in future lives. It will benefit oneself and others. One will easily attain the state of Buddhahood, and it brings harmony to the society or to the community, and one is regarded as a good person. So by knowing the benefits of bodhicitta, of generating bodhicitta, that his mind is so precious, then one will joyfully and enthusiastically in generating bodhicitta. So the enthusiasm and the joy that one would put into generating bodhicitta will be greater.
전주세 간다 비용 시오데. 전주세라. 비용도 하고 이제 내가 가서 저 도와주니 고도가 년에 지어라. 세나 강에 내봐다. 세나 년에 지어라. 또해 지어. 또 어디 세나 간다다. 아무 비용 시오라. 예세. 그것도 디디디신다. 와.
So in brief, by knowing the benefits of bodhicitta, one will joyfully and enthusiastically generating bodhicitta, and when one is in the process of cultivating bodhicitta, one will have lesser mental difficulties.
나한테 간다. 다 장주시 생제 비용의 내용이 비용의 하고 좀 다른 데서 장주기 쓰는 예, 대내진 님바도 휴쳐버려. 다 간다. 장주시 생제 비용도 하고 장주시가 님바 좋아. 저 대내진 님바도 휴쳐버려 거래. 대내진 님바도 야부 이내 봐이나. 내가 때네 장주시 모두 반년에 저라 전주대서 하는 거. 전 와. 전주대 레벨. 예, 전주대 야부 이내 오데. 근데 전주 들라 때네 장주 생지를 저 대성한다. 대성고 있어. 와. 장주 세대게 예, 아버지 시험이 장주 세대라 담보 이치 때 받을까. 와. 장주 세대라 예요. 이 시험이 장주 세대라 가와서 토를 될 이치 때 받아. 휴진 몰래. 이치 때 받을래 어디 장주 세대라 되게 이바디 휴진. 되네 장주 세대라 되네 이바디 휴진 몰래인데 진짜 좀 동안 아주 휴진 몰래 그러와. 나 전주 야구지 장바이나 선지지 공부 나 아이나 마투야 나 제세 뭐 쉬어라 숨만 하시게 나 공부 제바이나 마타마다 만두가지 이거 말해서 전주 야구 저자리 안다 전주세 이렇게 계속 있어 어디들이 난다는
Yeah, so if you understand the benefits of bodhicitta, so the first thing it will develop in one's mind would be the faith. So because when you understand that if we cultivate bodhicitta, then one will get such benefits. Then the first thing is one will develop faith in one's continuum. Then independence on which then the aspiration striving for the bodhicitta will become greater. And then in dependence on which one will naturally put effort in generating bodhicitta. So in dependence on joyous effort, then there's nothing that one, in dependence on joyous effort, there's nothing that cannot be achieved. It means that with joyous effort, you can achieve all, including the state of enlightenment, just as Bodhisattva Shantideva said. So with joyous effort, you can achieve everything.
다 다나 간다 도도 된가 뭐 누구 뭐 지시 뭐 외국의 양자 이자와이나 뭐그 영주도와 알 영주도 가서 그래서 리버 장주 세대 기다 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 제찬이 뭐냐고 공부 당야다 뭐 되게 리버 뭐냐고 공부 당니 상디지 공부 더 받으러와 그래서 상디지 공부 더 봐. 아 무슨 저거 된가 또 되게
就是先跌塔不当，见两把当，
제바
嗯
전체 생존을 보지 어떤 나중에 야 전체 생존을 보지 마지막에 기준이 제바
嗯
양바 매봐야 오늘 공부 표와 쉬어서 된다 되다
嗯
된다 되는 되는 거 준주게 여기 좀 된다 될수 있다
嗯
대화 전체 생존을 보지
嗯
마지막에 기준이 제바 양바 매봐야 오늘 공부 표와 쉬어서
嗯
된다 영주는 딱딱 되겠다
嗯
나디 따바 용해야 돼
嗯。
되다
So in brief, these 10 chapters talks about bodhicitta. So and these 10 chapters can be further condensed into this verse. So may the precious supreme bodhicitta not yet born arise. May that arisen not decline, but increase more and more. So these 10 chapters talks about generating bodhicitta that has not yet generated. Talks about uh, uh, increase the bodhicitta that it talks about generate bodhicitta without letting it degenerate or maintain it or sustain it, and then it also talks about increase the bodhicitta without letting it degenerate.
네. 네 가서 때 쭉 드셔도 드셔도 가서 전체 진짜 지원은 말은 막 이게 너무 못 봐나게 제대로 제대로다. 이게 제대로다. 가서 네. 하고 가서 빼마 내도 빼만 담아. 빼마 요 가서 빼마라. 담아서 바로 된다. 진짜 싸우죠 요. 가서 당부 자기 생기 비해서 쉬어야 가서 빼마 담아 마서 담아 담고 되게. 난 담아 담고 된 담아 입어서 또 이제 담아 참아야. 담아 창상게 세우리 담아 또는 내가 상황이 어차피 내가 담아 뭐 니죠. 예. 내가 이리 샤워와. 나한테 생활에 뭐 지금 막 빼자네. 담아야 참 도세. 때문에 내가 담아나 시야 찌찌 짜네. 짜네. 된 담아 창사들 랭주고 그봐. 나 정말 내가 자기 담아 되게 때도 사는 나중에 지나 찌 선지지 공부하고 똑바로 담아 되게 때도 수도지 인데 아까다 설치봐 돈 내게 상지 공부 예 어디를 위해서 담아 되게 때 무슨 말인지 담아 근데 상지다 예방가 와서 앞에 때민 담아 때도 쉬어서 가서 또 요 앞에 담아 때는 해서 요 내가 나시 답대 샤바이나 담아 되게 지라 와서 임박이다 로존에 우쭈바로 이거 무슨 쟤네 담아 쪽이 예 지마들라 상마게 때 예, 앞으로 지네 오바톤 되는데 지마다다 엘레고 해서 근데 내가 랭보여 돼 근데 때때다 단다 쳤다다 내봐지 같아
Yeah, so these 10 chapters talks about uh, generate bodhicitta that not yet generated, and then may the and the reason bodhicitta or the generated bodhicitta do not let it decline and increase it more and more. So is 10 chapters are included or condensed in this verse. So when we study these 10 chapters, then uh, gradually one is like collecting the petals of a lotus. So it's like a lotus, and a lotus has a different, many layers of petals, right? So then you can regard, each, each chapter is like a piece of petal of a lotus. So, like for example, when you study and practice the first chapter, the benefits, explanations on the benefits of generating bodhicitta, then then is like the first piece of petal. And then when this lotus, when you learn through and practice all the chapters of bodhicitta in the bodhicitta, then you have the complete 10 petals that makes a very beautiful lotus. And and in the middle of this petals or on top of these petals, then or based on these petals, then you can achieve the state of enlightenment. you can achieve all the qualities of holy body, speech, and mind. Just like when we do visualization, then we always talk about Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and Idam meditational deities. They are seated on lotus, right? So it's just like this. So based on the lotus, based on this lotus, you achieve the state of enlightenment.
다 간다. 어떻게 루치들이 그냥 타마 오이 갈때 그래서 되고 내는 간다. 시 공부하고 다 간다. 주부다. 여러 가지 간다. 혹시 공부하고 이제 무슨 저보다 되는 게 무슨 저보다 되는 게 되게 되다니 아마 또 이게 무슨 저보다 되는 게 디스페 카드야게 내가 전대로 필요와 어딘지 제가 요리에서 당하다 리무시를 정말도 스포링 요단데 맞아 집에 상주 고가야 뭐라 단지 세 뭐지마 제가 저 위치도 열어 이게 나도 많이 안 해지니 가라 내가 가면 좀 쓰면 하시 이제 뭐 와 어딘지 배셔나다 누구
So through these illustrations, one gradually one gradually train oneself according to the chapters, and at the end, then one dedicates the roots of virtue. So with these, one attained the stage of four bodies. So four bodies, or the state of enlightenment that possesses four bodies. These four bodies are such as nature, truth body, wisdom, truth body, enjoyment bodies, and what's that? Emanation body and complete enjoyment body and emanation body. So these are the four bodies, nature, truth body, wisdom, truth body, emanation body, and complete enjoyment body. So one attained the state of enlightenment of four bodies together with all the excellent good qualities. So it talks about how one, as a beginner, attain the state of enlightenment.
단체구리 이제 도와나고 소소에 가면 와. 그다음에 다 장주 쓰는 거지 길을 지어라. 디바도 샤고. 그래서 장주 쓰는 거지 길을 지어라는 거지 디바. 와. 우리 쓰는 거 길을 지어라는 거지 디바데 디바. 샤고 그래서 와. 장주 쓰는 게 있는 거지 디바데 뭐 샤바는 장주 쓰는 길을 지어라는 칼에 가면 쉬는 그래서 와. 오. 아직 디바 샤다가 가서 너무 쉬더라. 진짜 와.
So after knowing that if I cultivate bodhicitta, one will receive such great benefits. So then, in order to generate these precious bodhicitta in my continuum, what should I do? So then it leads to the second chapter. It leads to the second chapter, confessing negativities. So in order to generate these precious bodhicitta in my continuum, then I need to confess my negativities. Those are the unconducive conditions. Those are the conditions unconducive to the generations of bodhicitta in my continuum. So I need to confess those negativities. Without confessing those negativities, it will be very difficult to generate bodhicitta in my continuum. So in relation to confessions or confessing negativities, then there are many ways to confess or purify one's negativities.
상황도 여부를 어쩌다 가서 같이 소소샤 세워네. 예. 그다음 예. 그래서 와쇼 토니페 진짜 뭐 대치된 거나 뭐 그거는 이거 하도 지나다 그래서 전주시비 동바다 그래 전주시비 동바 양게 쉬어라서 우리 또 지나다 나 소타지 동바라서 근데 예. 일단 가서나 양가 비시지지는 그래서 소소소시 지요로 와 비시지지야 그래서 소소소소는 한다. 예시고 이봐서 소소 샤워서 담고 이게 어떨래 내가 상담 방사다 만도 가시를 실세와 그 기bat은 소소 샤워서 오늘은 소디 시키고와 그러니까 인다들이 상황이 좀 보다와 상황이 좀 받은 거 아니나 상황이 좀 받은 뭐는 것인데 나도 그러다 근데 지주스 뭐 상황이 좀 받으라 근데 지주 솔라보다 소소네 저도 정도와 어디를 나 들리습니다. 아무데 우리 들리지 싫어.
So there are many ways to confess or purify negativities. And in relation to compassions, then in the prayers, and we always recite this Dipa Tangye Soso Sha. So Dipa is negativities, Tangye is all, Soso is individually, or it can be translated as individually, or it can be translated as respectively or accordingly. And Sha is confess. So to confess all negativities individually or respectively or accordingly. So it's very good to think about or to reflect on the meaning of these lines when we recite it. Then it's good to reflect on the meaning. So in general, when we talk about I confess all negativities respectively, then it means that if I uh, if I do anything that goes against my commitment in relation to tantric commitments, or anything that contradicts or oppose my tantric vows, then I confess negativities accordingly, according to the tantra. So and then in which then mainly in which those Dakinis and Dharma protectors, and they are regarded. In which then it talks about in relation to Dakinis and Dharma protectors, then one confess negativities. And if one breaks or transgress Bodhisattva vows, then one receive Bodhisattva vows again, for example, to confess those negativities. And then mainly in relation to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And then if one do anything that transgress individual liberation vows, for example, one of the individual liberation vows is ordination vows, then one attend the sojong ceremony. So in order to restore one's vow.
나 들리지 간다로와. 맞아. 근데 정말 님보 도시도는 상당히 님보 도시도 정말 상당히 나도 지역으로 님보 도시도 상당히 그래서
So regardless which confession that you are doing in relation to tantric vows or bodhisattva vows or individual liberation vows, so all these must be done conjoining with the four opponent powers.
그렇지. 와. 간다 디에다 디보다 이제 소소서 된다 보여지래나 이렇게 상황이야. 그래서 소소랑이 디바 상조때 저기 샤도 전에 다 그래마도 소소의 빈자다 다마다 조보다 좋은서 스직이 샤바 전에 다 도금 그래서 와 여기 사비 디바데 여러분이 샤도 전에 그래서 이랑이 샤도 전에 겨그래마도 조보 빈자 파마 순대지나 소소 디바를 샤도 전에 다 그래서 도요 그래서
So that is one of the understanding or interpretations of this line. I confess all negativities individually, respectively, and then the second interpretation is I confess all negativities individually. So individually here refers to I myself create that negativities, I myself purified it by confessing these negativities. And these negativities that is done by me cannot be purified by my parents, cannot be purified by my friends, cannot be purified by my relatives. It can only be purified by myself. I created the negativities, I purified it myself individually.
我就是你把制作下来，对正的个。我等到现在就过来进来呀，这里上，那是第八堂就手术下是的，那不真的了，别上当白呢，真的了上当白呢，手术给别，我他后头去了，别修不了过去了，都让了过去设修白呢，我那那切都没呢，他别说是你让你在那边设修手术，你讲那个当学生，他别说是对呢，你那切都没呢，你那切都没能下到去。这个切的米的下多节呢，就是这个地方的切的米的下多去接头吧，呢，呀地方大了，你不切，也需要有个程度啊。我叔叔下时候，对，人的记，人的记不的，地方的叔叔下时候，但这这个往去了，那个的，
So again, the third interpretations of these lines that I confess all negativities individually or respectively. The third interpretations is I confess all negativities specifically. It has the meaning of specifically, individually, and however, it also has the connotations of specifically. Like for example, in these lives, if I create a negativities of killing a sentient being such as a bird, a small bird, or a mosquito, for example. So I know that I created that negativities. So specifically I purified that specific negativities. So because in these lives, if we know that we created such negativities, then we can purify it. I'll say in relation to these specific negativities. So it also has the meaning of specifically. I confess all negativities specifically or individually. So I confess if we purify or confess our negativities by having this in our mind in relation to these specific negativities, the power of that compassion or that purifications will be greater.
那等到这个东西第一切都没呢，我所晓得切等到第一苦是多把东西，等到基本你完了的话，现在呢我说别，就是我国内现在是多的5年吧，9年吧，肯定是，我小时呢，老小时呢，在说你这个切都没呢，对吧？这这里面啊，一级托呢，现在别那些的东西，工作了是吧？等于是，啥小时呢？我在这边马上在网上，我就会去加到这去。那就是我是现在我做好工作的话，现在叔叔这样的，我在工作群里吧，不当时我老师我特别现在律师馆呢，上对了切头米的事情，看对了对了切头米的，下头接去了。那外国呢，是皮呢，对了，谁做过老师等于是老小朋友呢，对了切头米的下头接，立马是等这个情况，那那么多西吧结果的话。我他一直觉得生活年报老师话等于，他我老师话等于去，那玩意呢，我等里面对了钱都没的，你钱都结果的，大钱都结果，你不学的时候的了，这年我都是上当的。
Yeah, so those negativities that we create in these lives, like physically, as I mentioned, physically I kill sentient beings, for example, and verbally, if I were to say anything bad or harsh speech or bad words to others, or if I say anything negative speech to others, then one should quickly realize that it is not proper to do so. One quickly generate regret, so which is one of the 4 opponent powers, and then quickly purify it. So you purify in relation to these specific verbal negativities. So similar to mental negativities, such as if you harbor ill will towards others, or if you generate anger as someone else, then you should quickly realize that it's improper to do so, and then you quickly regret it, and then you quickly confess it. So those are the negativities that we are aware of in these lives, that we can remember in this life, or we know of in these lives. So in relation to these specific negativities, or in relation to this, in relation to these specific negativities, I confess. And by doing so, the power of purification is greater. So that's why it can be interpreted in this way as well.
네, 앞에 지원하면 이건 받은 거라 때문에 막고 디바 시사에 뭔가 체력을 사사는 디고네 앞에 저 체력 마무리는 사사는 막고 디바 장치도 이 이상 수수샤도지야 지원하면 앞에 이게 이게 수고리 이게 계속해서 받는 소체 받은 점 마무 인사에서 이게 이게 지원하면 이게 수 이게 수 리치고네 디바 서버 샤도적인 이사 맞지야 지원하면 체력 통만 받는 이 이주고 있는 소리에서 얻어서 받는 아무지가 디바 사사레스 어떤 정치에도 받는 헤드미에서 디바 소소샤데 소샤스나 내가 보래 미세 뇌술이 샤도지야 돼 그대로 수수 디바데 뇌술이 뜨는 제바다 아무튼 샤도지도 디바 치고요 그대로 오다 거야지 그래서 디바 소소샤스 내가 동도들 내가 수고하는 마디는 우리 이시야 들어와
So not only the negativities that we create in these lives, and together with those negativities that we created in our past lives. So in the past, in many lifetimes, I created the physical negativities such as killing, and verbally I created negativity such as lying, saying harsh words, and mentally I created negativities such as covetousness and harmful intentions and etc. So I, in relation to these specific negativities that I created in my past lives, I confess or I purify.
어제 그것도 샤도들이다. 스님들 그거 소 샤스는 아주 다 장주지 세대 이 쇼데 장주지나 그녀지 데라 가와다 또 이렇게 한다 네가 시원 나시 그래도 하고디 데라 이치 대화네 데라 데라 디바지 디바 데라네 전주지 로와 전주 리고로와 전주 리오네 전주 리오디 너무 배치 제약에 여바들레 오니 가르쳐 버리에서 이 전세 있게라
So in the first chapter, it talks about the benefits of the minds of enlightenment. And after knowing the benefits of minds of enlightenment, then one develops joy and enthusiasm in one's mind that wants to achieve those benefits. So, and and through knowing so through knowing the benefits of bodhicitta, one first develop faith and convictions in one's mind, and then in dependence on which, then one develop aspiration, independent on which one develop joyous effort. So when you develop joyous effort in one's mind, then you at that point, then you want to engage in the actions. So then also you ask the questions, what should I do? So what should I do? Then is from the second chapter on. From second chapter onwards. First, one confess negativities.
진디바샤로와 딘지초사 딘지초사와 숨바 장주세 요소 숨바 딘지 스포 장주세 요소바 이도와 요소바 되게 딘지초사와 장주세 요소 예 장주세 요소와 딘지초사도 근데 장주세 요소 그래서 이게 아빠다 막 우리가 너랑 야무 쉬어줘야
So then the second chapter talks about confessing negativities. Those are the unconducive conditions for one to generate bodhicitta, right? So not only that, what else should one do? Then it talks about the chapter 3 talks about one needs to accumulate collections of merits. Those are the conducive conditions. So, and through collecting merits that are conducive conditions, one completely upholding the minds of enlightenment.
要讲到经济做啥的，讲到经济信用是吧？经济做啥一多呢？再讲究信用，我的当我说经济做啥的，我的经济信用是我的了。那我说，让你那么年轻的老师们全国过，我说地方有啊，伊朗地方全国过，这是有讲，你那里面的说话的，全国过，那里面的说话的吧，确实有讲，我讲，这什么的，这个多呢，讲到经济做啥，哇，我等你讲，多呢，那讲究信用说的哇，我等你说啥，地方下经济做啥。我等你，我想今天做啥的，那长久设计了，就跟你个搭档上山，长久设的我就来教了，天天长啥的，那长久设的就来教了，太重要。今天接着天天长啥的就来教了，所以说，
So through accumulating collections of merits, which are conducive conditions, then one completely uphold the mind of enlightenment. Then the ways to accumulate collections of merits, such as the seven limbs, such as making offerings, rejoicing, dedications in relation to one's virtuous friend or one's lama. Then one practice the seven limb prayers or seven limb practice. Then by doing so, one has the one has complete the one has the complete cause and conditions to generate bodhicitta in one's continuum. Why do we say that one's has the complete cause and conditions to generate bodhicitta is because you has purified negativities. Those are the unconducive conditions, and you accumulate merits, and those are the conducive conditions to generate bodhicitta. So by doing so, one has the complete. That's why it says that one has a complete cause and conditions to generate bodhicitta in one's continuum.
就讲究设我今天这个跟你结果的这个，是差不多的嘛，这零售多，我就设的我去，当然，平原的那边的都讲究设那边，完了，然后的多，其实也等于讲究设的我记得叫那个就地方下，但经济说啥呢？讲究设的记得检查的个讲，我说哇，那等于领导我别说了，等于讲究设的记得检查的个哇。我做啥吧？跟大强去写，我记得记，大强去写，我记得记册的，我也是，设计你把我说了，但是你设计修正吧，设计你把设计当不的了，强去写，我记得介绍是吧？是吧？设计不的搞的，强去写，我记得介绍，设计你把干嘛？当然是写的，是吧
？So in the first outline, it talks about to generate the bodhicitta that has not yet generated. So, and this is explained. This is set forth in the 3 chapters, or elaborated in 3 chapters. Then explanations of the benefits of mind of enlightenment, and then through knowing the benefits of the mind of enlightenment, one develops joys and enthusiasm in one's mind to accomplish to generate bodhicitta. And then in order to generate bodhicitta, then one confess negativities, and then together with accumulate collections of merits. So these 3 chapters are included in the first outline. So by or in dependence on these 3 chapters, one has already generated in one's continuum bodhicitta.
当然是强去写的，我就记了，记册记了。这些不是啥个主要这样，是吧？讲究什么能说啊？而且现在我记得介绍的话，原来跟我这个解决的，没说了，那这句话对的，真是我记得解，解册的，反正这个没解决，看这个是，我讲究写的嘛娘解药，对吧？这个解册的嘛娘解药，也是，嘛娘不的，看的是，对吧？习惯的方法怎么说啊？我嘛娘不大有的流血结束。流血朋友的话，他朋友这个，他长期生的不是就来几次的，画面光都是那长期生的两种人来的话，我也是吧，画面光都是那他考虑搞没差的话，那长期生两种，朋友把吃的可把牙，不是长期生的我记得你生的说的那朋友生的要不就说的呢，长期生两嘛， 感觉是很好的吧？我觉得。
So yeah, so after generating in one's continuum after generating bodhicitta in one's continuum, then what is the most important thing to do after generating it is do not let it degenerate. So that is the most important thing. Do not let bodhicitta degenerate after generating it. So then is explained or set forth in the next three chapters, chapter 4, 5, and 6, the teachings on conscientiousness, reflections, and relying on patterns. So the chapter 4 talks about conscientiousness. So it means that you are aware of it. You are aware of the bodhicitta. Your mind always holds bodhicitta. You always hold bodhicitta in your mind, and you let yourself uh, do not let yourself be not mindful of it. So you're always mindful of it. You're always conscientious that one has already generated bodhicitta. You always hold bodhicitta in your mind. Then by doing so, you will not, uh, I say the bodhicitta that has generated in your mind will not generate.
我理解。留是吧？当然是是朋友的，要不然的嘛，娘嘛就吧，我把留我把写进手机我吧，他写进的电话里，我说现在搞的忙不写的，我说现在搞的被是问题去了，我们现在今天中午听把写进的，
他讲的两个是
是问题去了，啊，有问题的有很多门都，现在今天的话，现在今天我说吧，那是你把写进，看到小区是过去了，对，现问题就有很多门都。现在今天做一下的话，我对现在今天这嘛是我说阿爸，这当我说习惯，还有点把它阿爸写进去，我尽量把我是指定的，必须都能我是指定跟我的是指定，是吧？指定的我说我朋友的阿爸写进这个呢，指定的，指定的，关系都有啊，我关系都大家的嘛关系什么的人嘛，电脑写出是吧？我朋友的写进了，我说忙起来的。我把亲手电脑自己定的时候，熊开心的朋友呢，自己定的，他老不了，你个人电视呢，就我的，是吧？我自己的，他朋友的事，曾经都听把等你说，你结婚的，你讲了人家，我说，可能结婚想去谁的嘛，要不可能结婚的是呢，哦，这些因素我是才谁的了，问题就没有的，你说吧，要不结，没闹了，他自己说的，想去谁的了。问题说的是要不保护我是要不守护这边的电话啊，这边这个那个问题的不完的话，谁的由于问题说的保护的话，说这边说是吧？问题的不完的话，为什么是修有啊？我的手上，长期性生了我觉得，你的这个问题说的说的不，问题说的是，问题说的是这个不的话，你呢？是么用嘛吧？用嘛吧？我得我把写进去。那写进的指定你个想去写的嘛？人家打条不多啊，你打条不多啊。
So the fourth is consciousness, and the chapter 5 talks about introspection or guarding introspection. So in introspections or vigilance, and this we have talked about quite extensively in the chapter of calm abiding. So basically, introspections or vigilance is to guard one's mind, whether the discordant class of the mind has arrived or not, has arisen or not. So, or whether there is a discordant class of the mind, or whether the discordant class of the mind is present or not. So, this vigilance or introspections does that, or this is the functions of it, and it's like a guard, or it's like a guard. So, it guards whether the discordant class of the mind has arisen or not, or is present or not. So, and then this body introspection relates relates to the sixth perfection, or one of the six perfections, which is morality, the perfections of morality, or it talks about or it set forth the perfections of morality. Because when we talk about morality, and we also do meditations at the beginning of the class, then we say the nature of morality is a mind of enlightenment, right? It's a mind of abandonment. So it means that it abandons those discordant class, the discordant class of bodhicitta. So, and if one properly abandons those discordant class of bodhicitta, then the bodhicitta that one has already generated in one's continuum will not generate. So, some text says that the chapter 5, guarding introspection, set, expresses the perfections of morality, and then some text says that together with the chapter 4, teaching on conscientiousness, and guarding introspection, chapter 5, these two chapters also expresses the perfections of morality.
我第几大讲的，我这领悟阿爸给做，事情给做，领悟阿爸给也是对了，哇，阿爸给做，事情给做，领悟阿爸也是，他第几个，我们讲的什么样吧，对了哇。
Yeah, so we can understand that chapter 5, guarding introspection, mainly addresses the perfections of morality.
对了，这个是事情么样吧了，把人给事情么样吧了。是不要估计生活的长期是怎么比就是不要我的长期是怎么样吧，但都看到不的也是呢，长期是怎么样吧了，我那长期是怎么样吧，我怎么说的给你可以那给去超过人，是不的哇，不是吧？而且可以去过是，他长期是人不记得我呢，是吧的也不行，我呢，我呢哪啥那么经常上去谁动的，那就条长期是动的，那你要什么意思？是吧？应该学会这个，是吧？我的手上，那是我们去，就是有去旅行嘛，对，那你的节目是，像第三个问题，我的今天是逻辑形象，今天是逻辑的，是吧？我今天是逻辑的，但是我今天的他们节目是吧？是逻辑学的，他得学嘛，对吧？就知道，我讲就是这个比较忙，对，他讲就是这个问题了，接着呢，那是讲就是的。那今天的问题，说妈妈学习要大，那讲究现在我觉得吧，不要到那个嘛，两家那个，那问题是妈妈学习了，那是什么了？他的学习，那他的家了，那是什么的？那什么的来学习什么？讲究现在嘛，那两门经验，那什么的？那什么的要不你们那讲究现在老是干嘛经常老到那个，那你那里，那接着么去啊？
So besides conscientiousness and introspection, what else do we need to guard the bodhicitta that one has already developed in one's continuum? Then which is the chapter 6, relying on patience. So among these three, conscientiousness, introspections, and patience, so patience is said to be the most important among these two. So why do we say that? Is because if we do not have patience, even though one has generated bodhicitta in one's continuum, there is a danger that one could give up bodhicitta in just 1 minute. And then this, I'll say, in relation to this, I have mentioned stories before, and one of it is the story of Guan Yin or Genrezik. So, and so even though one has generated bodhicitta in one's continuum, there are many discordant classes to cause it to degenerate. So in order to counteract those discordant classes, then one must have patience. Without it, as I mentioned just now, there is a danger that one could give up bodhicitta in just 1 minute.
像我这妹妹是可能到我一样啊，长期学的我记得就是不对，一切是不拿不来写进去，就说了那就在听进去。那只是我是在可头个到我一样，那个一样。对了，随便两年的没我一样，这浪是工作解决个那个学有了吧，是吧？工作必须全部解个那个有了吧。我等等你，当你长期写写的，我那两年天主到门，是吧？你写出来给我一样。马上讲就写当了的，当你讲就写的，你是啊，就是这个么当我变，你这么的变，我变，那你在这里其实过了呢，你看没得的啊，对，是刚全部开始呢，是这样人家讲的， 딜레 당 딜레 또 원체 와 딜레 lonja chi 딜레 가 와 야 쇼지데 딜레 저 누자 쉽게 와이나 딜레 군도 찌르 거라 단도 어따들이 그래서 자주 세대 막 그냥 쭉 쉬고 자고 그러서 뭐 참 양마치 얘기다 에 일단은 요거 내도 주다 세바 차리 세바 와 당어서 따바이치 나주 공지리 리스는 까면 그냥 같이 주는 다들 애들은 세도 가지고 그래서 제비 와 나도 된다니 신치잖아요 상황 그렇게 따와이나
So there are many causes to cause our bodhicitta to degenerate. For example, it can be as simple as someone say a bad word to you. It can be as simple as someone show a bad face to you, or show a funny face to you, or weird facial expression to you. And it can be as uh, difficult, like if someone that you have benefited before, someone you have done, you have done him some help, but he or she return your kindness with hate, with harm, and etc. Or someone that you have benefited before, and then instead of benefiting back to you, then instead of benefiting you, then they cause harm to you. So those are the causes that makes the generated bodhicitta to degenerate. And in those situations, if we do not have patience, that's why we say patience is among these three the most important. So if we do not have patience, then we are in great danger to give up our bodhicitta by generating anger towards them. So how so is if we have a short moment of thought thinking, there are so many kinds of people, and there are so many kinds of people, and then I'm unable to help this person. I'm unable to I am unable to generate bodhicitta to benefit all sentient beings, including this bad person. Then if we have this thought generated a short moment in our mind, then we have already given up the bodhicitta. So that's why we say uh, patience is very important in guarding or in making the bodhicitta not to degenerate. So that's why in the meditation, again in the beginning of the class, and we do meditations, and then we talk about the perfections of patience and nature of it. And the nature of it is a mind that is undisturbed. And then we say, and we continue to say that I will patiently accept any physical or mental hardships and difficulties. So this is something that we need to think about or reflect again and again in relation to this word patience and bodhicitta in this context.
어디지 아마도 잠비 세대 뭐 냐면 이게 이거 봐요다 내 시가 봐요다 와봐 이게 뭐 지리와 두고 세바세 그래서 우리 잠비 세 뭐냐 저 지금도 와 냐면 지게 저 지리와
Yeah, so in order to cause those, uh, in order to make bodhicitta not to degenerate, in order to cause bodhicitta not to degenerate in our continuum, then this is mainly set forth in the fourth, five, and chapter 4, chapter 5, and chapter 6.
이거도 잠비 세 공부 나와 나 잠비 세 공부 나라 그래서 사실 숨어 와 사실 숨어 사실 숨어 나는 것도 잠비 세 공부 나와 나서서 좋아하는 잠비 세 뭐냐 와야 보지 나머지에서 안 가르고 있는 같이 무슨 야자 공부 나와 내가 공부 나와 나 공부 나와 가르쳐 버리면서 저한테 와 공부 나와라 응 그거 내가 준비 좀 했어 나 준비 좀 했어 와留结巴的话，咱现在股票当然了，你把它专注去讲的不也是，专注没当然去哇，专注没把握东西，那我这里了我专注求进行的东西的，我说给其余的专注的多尽量去对我来说，我说对，求我尽量说对，如果的我去哇，专注的我去，他这今天的嘛的千万哇， 치료야 말아.
지,
이거 줘. 이거 힘들대.
요를 상상하는 요,
어, 그냥 보면 해서 저기 와서 저기 미국에 맞다. 와서 랑사베 신부지가 신 멤버하고 지금 써는 짓이 그러니까 매주 받은 남자 빨리 정보에 우리 봐 아사가마 가지를 마시는 거로 와. 이나 지금 맞지 해서 저기 와서 시 동고 첨부지라 내시 봐와이나 이라 매를 봐와나 싶고 그래서 이 멤버
con 다른 매바와 나.
시 동고 첨부지라 뭐 첨부지라 내시 봐와이나 콜로 매도 지는 거 되고 와. 내 지는 뭐 나서 시 마마다고 저 컴보스다 선수 내시 봐라 남서 축 내시 뭐 뭐 가지 너무 싫어 그러와. 그 맞지. 이 동고를 매봐. 다시 그래. 신기 너무 동고를 매봐. 다시 제가 했어요.
로마 깜보.
너무 깜보가 선우시네. 매봐 다시 우리 제가 했어요. 그때 그때 너무 찐이 너무 찐이 많이 와지. 그 시부 제기선 니마 가기 전에 하나 봐봐. 이 먹어 가지고 휴정 뭐 전에 그거. 니마 시가 어디서 그 전에 이제 랑서마 차는 거야. 어디로 어디 맞지 지금. 진짜 추진이 때문에 안 돼. 소 진짜 추진이 나지. 해봐. 누구 첨벌을 내버려 왔지. 됐어. 누구 첨벌.
Then the next outline is to cause bodhicitta to increase or to increase bodhicitta. So after the second outline that one causes the bodhicitta not to degenerate, then what else should we do? Then it leads to the third outline to increase bodhicitta. So in order to increase bodhicitta, then one needs to cultivate joyous effort, which is the chapter 7, teachings on joyous effort. So one needs joyous effort. So our joyous effort should be like a stream or should be like a river. So just like Gisela straight away say the English word river, and I couldn't catch it. Yeah, so then Gisela, yeah, so then I got it. So our joyous effort should be like a river, as Gisela said. Then our joyous effort or our effort shouldn't be like a piece, shouldn't be like a pile of dry leaves. So dry leaves will be how say if you set the fire on a pile of dry leaves, then how say then the fire become very big, right? But it only lasts for a short while. So we shouldn't our joyous effort shouldn't be like a pile of dry leaves, and instead our joyous effort should be like a river, or it should be like a big trunk, the tree trunk. Then it should be like a big tree trunks that it burns for a long time. So because some people when they sometimes how say they feel how say the passion for practicing for Dharma practice, and then they study, for example, or practice Dharma, and then for 4 or 5 days they have great effort. Then they practice Dharma for 4 or 5 days without eating or without a proper rest and etc. So and however that effort does not last. So our joyous effort should not be like a pile of dry leaves. Instead, it should be like a big tree trunks that it burns for a long time.
그때 중대 이모 지난주 같이 시행하게 해서 생각하는데 이 가지고 요래 가와디 요래 베세라는 얘기를 베세라는 근본이야 슈 근본이지 이해하지 야고지도 이해하고 싶지도 그게 하자 다 걸어서 이제 베세 따기 이제 베세 쉬었다 다고 다치 이제 안도서 다치 세세리 그 베세 휴친도 쉬었다도 베세 휴친도 다 보다 제목은 진짜 쓰고 싶은 거 많이 가지 근데 이들을 깨닫는 만 이시처럼 이시스탄 좀 이시스 만야스 제가 선로도 제시거든 다 커들이 뭐냐 뭐지 뭐 뭐지 이렇게 제도 나 근데 다 커pes했다는 게 무슨 다고 그 pes했다는 시라 처음 말했어 다 누구를 했다 뭐죠 지네들 뭐도 무슨
기실하게
얘나들 얘 계실라지도 다 pes했다는 게서 말이야 다 커도 제가 지네들 무슨 얘가 하고서 있어야 뭐 뭐지라 예 지금 많이 이로 맞지 도저지 뭐지지 어쨌든 이제 게라고 나시 다 이수 이제 건너서서 예, 베지타토야 마시. 그래도 뭐 있었다. 되게 하고 저래. 저거도 이 베지와 말해.
So there is a story, and then that person is some how say from the same hometown as mine, from my hometown. So this person as I went to the Sera monastery in Tibet, and then it became a monk, and then yeah. So then then he relied on a very good teacher. So then he think that, oh, I'm going to study hard. So then for 1 month, then he studied so hard that he every day he study until 3-4 a.m. He stay up late and then study text philosophy, and then study text, and then up to 3-4 a.m. Then his teacher was a Geshe-la. Then his teacher said to him, then rest, then he can study next day. Then, however, he did not listen to his teacher and then continued to study until late night. Then that teacher already knew that this person is not going to be in the monastery or to be ordained or study text for a long time. So soon he will leave the monastery. He will not be able to study for a long time. So the teacher already had this in his mind. So really, as what this is like what the teacher said, that he couldn't stay for a long time. Then 3-4 months later, then this person left the monastery.
대리시 당하고 전주대 개체부 정렬이와 전주대 개체부 정렬에 그래서 전주대 배 내나 간다 내가 어서 가리나 간다 스스로 밑바닥이나 똑바지가 제거나 가르 제거나 전주대 매나 연기 말이 전주 제스로 어디 나와다 버렸어. 이 말이 그 전주 제스로 그래서 연기 가미지 용어나 전주 제스로 그러 말아 전주대 매바이나 딱 어떻게 이거야 그래서
So joyous effort is very important. Without it, even if you want to purify your negativities, even if you want to develop in one's continuum realization and etc., without it, then these are not possible. So as glorious Chandrakirti says in his entering the middle way, then he says that all qualities comes after joyous effort. It means that with joyous effort, then you can achieve it. Without it, then you are unable to achieve that.
손바닥에 가르치는 진짜로에서 좋아해요. 근데 선대 모셨어. 선대 와서 선지 뭐 신을 나서다 내가 집안에 와. 이를 나서도 선대를 내 그래. 와. 간다. 네. 선대 공부래. 선대 공부래. 저기 저거 해서 나로 와. 선대 아버지 공부하나. 이제 공부하라. 이제 신자 신지 수업에 개체 뭐 차고야. 수업에 공부를 가져서 자주 쓰는 거래. 공부했지 아마도 자주세요 공부도 두요 와
심리전추 심리심
我我
Yeah, so in order to increase bodhicitta, which is the third outlines, not only do we need to cultivate joyous effort, we also need to not only do we need to cultivate joyous effort, then the next thing is what do we need to in what do we need to put effort? So then we need to put effort in concentration, which is the chapter 8, teaching on concentration. So and cultivating concentration then is just as those modes of cultivating abiding that we have covered before. So those are the modes of cultivating concentration. So in order to increase bodhicitta, we also must understand um, the assistant to increase those bodhicitta, or the accompaniers of those accompaniers of increasing bodhicittas. So those are the assistants to increase bodhicitta. We must understand, we must know them.
Quand 제바 리우 제바 상태 좋아. 리우 제바 상태 상태라고 그래. 상태라도 공부하는 상태라고 그래. 상태 뒤집어 올라봤다는데 비교해서는 다른 지금 무슨 소리야? 다들 가르고서는 다 싫은 거 나도 제가 그래 그래 된다. 그거 싫으면 상태다 싫어 있어도 싫어 상태. 이게 나도 소리야. 와. 와다 싫어라고 그래. 싫어라 말로 봐이나. 하나 수치 당지다. 당지가서 싸워는 지도고 말해 싸워는 내가 소도고 말해 예서 마도 와서 싫어라고 그래. 아 싫어다 상태 싫어 수치네. 무슨 소리야. 나 상태 전에 전에 좀 와이나. 나 장주세를 뭐지? 싫어 상태 전에 전도 때문에 상태 좀 바꿔라. 그래서 내가 보도면 받기 그래서
So if we put effort in joyous effort, if we put effort in concentration alone is not enough. So what else do we need? So we need to put effort in cultivating wisdom. So we need to train in wisdom as well. So in other words, we need to train or put effort in the union of calm abiding and special insight. So by doing so, one's bodhicitta will increase more and more. And then definitely one will achieve the state of enlightenment very fast without any doubt. So if we only train in concentration and do not train in wisdom, then one will not be able to eliminate from the root the self-graspings of person and the self-graspings of phenomena. Thus, one should put effort not only in concentration, one should also put effort in wisdom, the union of combining and special insight.
어디로 사가다 대다들의 제가 섬기다 뭐가 저렇게 되고 있어도 아무도 된다 제가 숨는 아 내가 한도서 다가 또 말해 된다 또 오미도 싫어하는 한도 또 디르와 또 디르 다 디라 예 나는 지금 내가 한다 이번에 준이 과차도 제가 나쁜 부분이 해서 근데 과차 교관이 편집세는 뭐 제일 그대로 살아 전세는 제일 그대로 살아 오 재밌어 그래서 예수 달려 담아서도 그래요 새끼 소바도와
So by training in the union of calm abiding and special insight, then and when we say special insight, then it's not any kinds of special insight. It refers to the special insight realizing selflessness. So in relation, in dependence on which then two obscurations can be abandoned, and then the bodhicitta will increase. So this is mentioned in the third outline.
다사지 시바들이 다사지 시바 담아서 지방을 내우서 된디 때 단지세 마지바 제바 예 제바 뭐냐 벌써 예 단지세 공패되고 아마가 예자리 이 도장이야 뭐야 들어와 된디 뭐야 뭐니 때간다 상지시 고바 아간다 상지시 고바 더 봐. 매도 빠마 매도 때만 담아 내가 상황한테 이게 뭐야 처럼 저네 아마 지만 상지시 고바 quand on peut sentir que je vais dans chita de chawe droit sans dire moi c'est souvent petit chawe res that dans la chawe pit
Yes, then so then the last one is the last outline is dedicated last as I say Shiva de 계장어 설지 시반에 계장어 yeah. So then the fourth outline is dedicating the roots of virtue together with aspirational prayers. So this is set forth. This is elaborated in the chapter 10, dedication. So these are the four outlines. The first one is to generate the bodhicitta that has not yet generated, and the second one is generated. Do not let it generated, but do not do not let it degenerate. The second outline. Sorry, I repeat. The first outline is to generate to generate the bodhicitta that has not yet generated. And the second one is to not let it degenerate. And the third one is to increase bodhicitta. And the last one is to dedicate the roots of virtue together with aspirational prayers. So in dedication, then we dedicate the roots of virtue that we have accumulated to the complete enlightenment. So then to link back to the illustrations I have mentioned, the lotus, and these chapters are the toes of lotus, and then with the complete toes of lotus, one attain the state of enlightenment, just like a Buddha sit on top or in the middle of the lotus. So then through studying these 10 chapters, then all of us have already achieved the state of enlightenment. Yeah. So then these chapters in Bodhicharvataras then can be included in the 6 perfections as well. So as you can see, their patience, their joyous effort, their concentration, and their wisdom. And then there are 2 more. One is generosity. And generosity is expressed in the chapter 10, dedication. And the morality is expressed in the chapter 5, guarding introspection. So chapter 10, dedication, expresses generosity, the perfection of generosity. So how does it express generosity? How does this chapter 10, dedication, expresses generosity? So it's a question. So yeah, then you can unmute yourself if you have answers or anything to say regarding this question.
Share the screen so everyone can see.
Share screen.
So people more willing to show face and share the answer.
I'll stop sharing.
Yeah. Now we can see everyone.
Okay.
Sheila, I may try. Chapter 10, dedication. Sheila always say we dedicate our roots of virtues. So this chapter called dedication, we dedicate the roots of virtue by whatever we've done, our body. As a bodhisattva, they actually give away body. They also are generous in their possession. So all these are root of virtues that reflected in chapter 10, dedication.
Give to others, right? They give give body, and then generous with their possessions, and then they give these bodies and possessions to others, right?
So these are the root of virtue they dedicate.
Yeah.
Can I try?
Yes.
Margaret here. Geshe-la? In the Lama Chopa, we have 4 immeasurables. So the last immeasurable is not dedicate my merits of the 3 times past and present future and its results and enlightenment to all sentient beings. So this is the sharing of the merits.
That's right. 你哋都嗰位那啲了解話那啲我嘅過來話，因為啲我係能做啲個順嘅嘅咋，我呀啲，因為啲嘅咋邊那睇成那講住先把頭位那，也就是先叫佢話那啲講住先把啲，因為工作人女主播現在先來接把堂，因為叔叔嘅朋友嚟嘅，有朋友吧，朋友吧啲樣明顯的來接吧。你點做呢啲你現在來接吧，點做呢啲其他嘢，呢啲其他我呀，現在呢啲了解吧，我啲前把堂叫我有啲都得個意思啊，呢啲馬貴嘅事啊，呢啲拉乜都把能落啦，讓這麼些啲咁叫我哋，呢啲這麼些他媽啲，讓當做嘅當沙嘅嗰隻最順當沙嘅其他啲，讓先邊他們嘅啦，就這樣讀我呀。甚至他們自己全都就這樣讀我呀，你印象你講我當金巴當就話有的是。
那有不了不老是像那个，或者嘛，这个人家给也不打了的是，或者这个我的理论去介绍的这个成功呀，形成这个，另外的点，我地方是光就有啊，一切的是吧？那对的，我说起码那个一个情况处理就是个我说。理論上現在這個參呀，我覺得我知道我是現在我北京吧都清楚了，清楚處理是個咯，現在我，這都是這個大概啥
？Yeah, so very well said, the both of you, Dr. Go and Mark. Yeah, so actually, in the meditations, then we always say that the nature of generosity is a mind of giving. And then whatever roots of virtue that we accumulate, for example, study, listening to the Dharma, and then giving bodies and objects of enjoyment or resources to others, so to purify the sufferings of all sentient beings and to achieve or attain happiness of all sentient beings. So that is why dedication is related to generosity. So generosity talks about minds of giving, and then dedication is you dedicate to all sentient beings. And by dedicating one's roots of virtue, it makes the virtue become more powerful. Yeah. So today we mainly talks about the summary of Bodhisattva engaging in the Bodhisattva Deeds, and then it's very important. It's very important, and it is a great summary of Bodhisattva. So very easy to understand as well. So especially to those who are unable to attend today's class, then please share these to them so that they can have a better understanding of Bodhisattva. So and especially those who are here, then please keep these important points in your mind and always reflect on it. Yeah, so usually those who attend class and then however they are unable to attend class today, then please share these with them.
Yeah. That drink the wash out. Drink the wash is there.
Yeah.
The way in a GSC,
that's all.
Yeah,
so we'll stop here. If you have any questions, and again, it's in next class.
Yeah. 当然是他们文化的，肯定文化的点的是吧？一种这点吧地方多的，我这就对，某小姐的把你的主要这这样的，这就那么是多的，是出名的，我经常去确实学这个技能，当然忙住18年都我也记得，但咱们也都给了本地话学了了是吧？到三月这边去了，只能够那个是，我这蛮愿意的，他把西电影，咱们把西电影，这个肯定把这些学习完。
Yeah. So it's very, so we conclude with dedication is also very auspicious because we end at the chapter of dedication. So now we do dedication. So we dedicate the roots of virtue that we have accumulated, and we dedicate it to the flourishing of Buddha Dharma, to the excellent happiness of all sentient beings. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to all upholders of Buddha's teaching, mainly His Holiness the Dalai Lama, to live eons long, to have good health. And may all their enlightened activities and holy wishes be accomplished instantaneously and spread in all 10 directions. In particular, we dedicate these roots of virtue to our beloved teacher, Kyabje Lama Zopa Rinpoche. May the unmistaken reincarnations of Rinpoche be swiftly returned and continue to turn the wheel of Dharma for the sake of all sentient beings and teachings, so that we will have the opportunity to receive the profound teachings from Rinpoche again. And in particular, we also dedicate these roots of virtue to His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. May His Holiness be swiftly recovered from the manifest from the knee surgery. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to the world peace. May excellent happiness prevail in the world. May wars, conflicts, disaster, and natural disaster that includes earthquakes, a typhoon, flood, etc. So may all these natural disasters, together with diseases and epidemic and etc., be pacified immediately. Sabe que wa de ten dang zhou wa kun la kan kai dang xie ba ji zhe bo san zhao ba yi te mei ni bo de do se jie shu wa jiang zhu se liu ming bo jie ba jie ba na ji yu ji jie ba niang ma shi ba ya wu nie guan dao bai ma shu wo yi dao wa也被保护其他电报的不可上报的啊，给给他去接受道路去，给我给他当接了多我给他我这嘛去帮助去也帮两帮没把人过年过都别话说，给他话人过这嘛去帮他去去帮两帮没把人过年过都别话说，过年年结束都就别嘛，其实甚至感觉对流云将来被我的天掉走了，是我的手间的人多说，今天看的本来话流吧，看的就会上面一些，可是说没的这叫走了，是我的手是给的流说，他们的关键是的让多多上交往，有时就把这软件是给的发生的，你们把这边给人做用处特别特别的摩羯，接到这边直接别忘了，那样没去苏美国家的苏美汽车妈妈说我的，别的法律就美国去，要有点到嘛就是我也对了，几多怎么这边我都不希望现在面来帮，就是人都去发到，就是他去突厥了，我觉得没得没样，多少辈都给少都接辈都有一些说。微信高的，本高的网好的社会呢，就有什么对这个做一下对世界吧。